Anime Recap: Boy without magic becomes the strongest magician in Magic Academy. While eating a cream puff in his room, Mash asks Finn to lend his broom for tomorrow's class because he brought a brush instead of broom, thinking that they were cleaning and that a scrub would be better. Shocked at this, Finn wonders about Mash's personality, saying that how can Mash be so innocent, but decides to give his broom to Mash. The next day, Mash goes to the flying class where they learn how to fly a broom. The professor states that they need to infuse the broom with magic and command it with the word fly. As everyone says fly, Mash also tries this but fails. Thinking about his promise with the magic police officer, Mash states that he has to become the divine visionary in order to live a peaceful life with his father, but suddenly, he gets approached by a fellow student who starts discouraging Mash for not able to lift a simple broomstick with his magic. Hearing this, Mash tosses his foot into the ground and brings the broom in the air and grabs it, and says the word fly after that. His classmate then start bad-mouthing about him and calling him a cheater, and decides to approach him, but before he can do anything to Mash, the professor ordered the students to fly into the air with their broomsticks. Wondering that this might be the good opportunity to ruin Mash's reputation in front of the whole class, the boy decides to challenge Mash for a broom race, and the loser has to obey the winner for as long as they are in Magic Academy. Mash accepts his challenge and both get ready for the race. When the professor says the word ready and go, Mash already crossed the finish line. The professor starts yelling in shock but admires Mash's incredible speed, calling it a new world record in Magic Academy in broom race. However, Finn saw what happened in the race. He stated that when she said start, Mash chucked the broom into the air and then jumped out towards the broom and mounted on it in the midair. The boy does not want to accept his defeat, starts calling him cheater again, but Mash shuts him down, stating that he is dropping the bet and will not tell him to do anything. Thinking that Mash is mocking him, the boy decided to attack the Mash, but before he can do that, he was approached by Lloyd, who sewed his mouth with his magic threads, and apologizes to Mash to his friend's rude behavior. The other students, who were afraid of Lloyd, realized that Mash is the next target and decided to stay away from this. But to their surprise, Lloyd introduced himself and asked Mash to become his friend. Mash mistakes his name, calling him a spud cabbage. Angered at this, Lloyd starts to get their conversation into the next level, but the professor interrupts them and asks them to attend their broom class, and Lloyd asked him to meet him after the class. After that, Lloyd leaves with his friend and beats him up for losing to such a commoner. Mash then inquired about why everyone being afraid of Cavil, in which Finn explains that Cavil is the son of a high-ranking member in the Bureau of Magic, and if someone stood up against him, they would be expelled. The vice principal also favors him because of his ties with the Cavil's family. Finn also witnessed this incident happen to a lot of students since middle school, and everyone afraid of him because of that. After the class, they go back to the dorm and Mash makes cream puffs instead of meeting with Cavil, who feels furious after not waiting for so long. While eating his self-made cream puffs, Mash realizes he needs to get to the top and do it fast, so he can start living with his father again. The next day, Mash gets ready for his potion class but sees his textbook ruined. Cavil goes to Mash and asks why he didn't show up on the ground yesterday. Mash apologizes for that, and says he was making cream puffs. Lloyd ignored his excuse and says that he has good connections with Vice Principal and can help him to become the next divine visionary. But in exchange, Mash has to do what he is told. Realizing that this is a perfect opportunity to fulfill his promise, Mash decides to agree with condition. He then started carrying their books, clean up their shoes, gets him a drink, massages his shoulders, and more. Mash finds another book torn up and asks Finn to share. Finn says no to his request, but Mash does not realize this. He then thanks him for the book and the broom, saying that he is relieved to have a good friend like him. After the class, Cavil purposely spills his drink and asks him to clean it, in which Mash happily complies and cleans it really well. Cavill then goes to Finn and orders him to burn Mash's robes as he feels bored of tearing his books. Finn, thinking that Mash was so good to him, decides to says no, stating that he can't do this anymore. Angered at this, Cavill beats him up. When Mash asked what happened to him, Cavill tells him that he was expecting an apology for him, but he didn't do it, and gets beaten up for that. Finn then cries and confesses to Mash that he was the one who burned his books and was told to do that by Cavill. He apologizes to Mash for his rude behavior despite Mash was always good to him, and even called him his friend. Angered at this, Mash grabs Cavill's hair and smashes him to the ground. To everyone's shock, Finn says he would get expelled for this, but Mash does not care, saying that he didn't do anything wrong. After seeing Cavill in an unconscious state, he changes his statement and admits that he really did a bad thing. The vice principal Farman, having seen everything, says that he did bad thing, revealing that it was a violent attack on an innocent student and both Mash and Finn will be held responsible for that in the school conference. The vice principal also talked about status difference between Cavill and Mash, revealing that different social status means different treatment, and since they are commoners, they will be severely punished. Having heard enough of his words, Mash attacks him with his knees in the face and surprises everyone with it. Mash explains that the vice principal was not open to reason, so that's why he hit him. Vice principal then calls him a serial killer, stating that he has the authority to expel ordinary students like him at any time. He then tries to attack Mash with his magic spell, but Mash smashes a mud in his face, which he gets after digging a hole in the hall area. He then picks him up and puts him inside the hole, and starts burying him into the ground. The vice principal then threatened to expel him from the Magic Academy, but Mash didn't listen to his words and continues to bury him, saying that he will bury the people who tried to hurt his family or friends. The next day Mash is called to the headmaster's office. He assumes that he's there because he baked cream puffs in the dorm kitchen without permission, but that is obviously not the case. The headmaster talks about the incident yesterday, and shews him a letter of expulsion that he was given. He then says the hierarchy of the world. Headmaster says that what Mash did is unforgivable. He then continues to burn the letter and state that a world where caring is at a disadvantage is bad. He explains why he took the position of headmaster, and hopes that Mash will become a divine visionary. He then repeats how to become a divine visionary, but Mash could not understand, so he puts it in simpler terms. Headmaster says he will handle the Bureau of Magic and encourages Mash. He then says in his mind that Mash has one more trial. The next day there was an interdorm match of the sport, Duello. Players fly in the air trying to put a ball through a goal. Mash was recruited because of his fantastic performance the other day. The winner gets a silver coin. The Duello match between Adler and Lang dorms begins. Mash stands rooted to the ground, staring up as the other players begin playing in earnest. The crowd begins to jeer at Mash and throw things at him and tell him to stop playing if his heart was not in it, and Mash thinks to himself how he wished he could do so. And this brings the anime to an end. Comment for part 4, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.